Polka and roller skating. Well, I'll talk about polka first. My grandmother, Gracie, was extremely religious. Well, both grandmas were. But she wanted me so badly to become a Seventh-day Adventist minister, she could jump through her skin. Or I'm a Seventh-day Adventist doctor. She endowed a scholarship in some college in California. Not much, but at those days, a lot of money. And she gave me what every young guy, and I was young, about 13, I had entered high school, and Grandma gave me 5 books. Doesn't sound like a lot of money. She gave it to me for my birthday for $5 in that day and age. Man, that was more than a day's pay for a grown man. If he made $5 a day, he was considered rich. Uh, but Grandma gave it to me to get a Bible, buy a Bible. I looked around the house and we had a couple of Bibles. I got $5. I am not to buy a Bible. So I'm walking along, rich as can be, the $5 in my pocket, and here's a big sale in a dance studio. Now I'm about 13, and I don't know much about girls. I'm just entering high school. I know I don't like them, but we got a picture of one barely dressed. Today you would think she's ready for the Arctic. But those days it was kind of risky. So I walk in and say, "What's your sale?" 6 dance lessons for 1 hour each for $5. Wow, I got $5. I had very little interest in dance, but I got this much interest. I was on the worst football team in the city, and the teachers complained that when we had a school dance, all the boys were at one end of the gym, the girls at the end, and there out of 3,000 students, there were half a dozen that danced. And therefore, it cost 10 cents to dance. That paid for broken windows. At any rate, the coach, being part of the enemy, said, if you don't go to the dance and dance, you don't play tomorrow. What a dirty trick. But I was about third string. I wanted to get in the game so badly I could taste it. Particularly, I wanted to get a letter to show off to the other guys. So, without further consideration, I signed up for 6 months. And I learned to square dance, the waltz, the polka. Now, polka was very big. Remember, I'm in a Polak, Chicago. Polka was the major dance. My folks took polka. So I take these lessons, and I guess we had 2 lessons for polka. And we danced the Scottish. I don't remember. The Scottish nationality. We danced the Schuhplattler. That's a German dance. All for $5. They taught me. I don't remember the woman, girl, how old or anything, but she was patient with me. She wanted to tell me more dancing. But I didn't have another $5 or anything like it. Alas, that ended a potential romance. But I went to the dance the next Friday afternoon, and there was the football team lined up like they're going to attack somebody. Not a one of them would dare to dance. Oh, they were the other ones on the floor. And Foreman High School had a big band, like 18, 20, modern music, like the Aragonco rooms. And I'm looking around. And I look around and I see these girls. I'm afraid of them. I'm afraid I'll say no or something like that. I'd rather stand with the football team anyway and tell the others how many how ugly our high school girls were. First they agreed with me and how beautiful the Shores High School girls and Steinmetz High School girls were compared to the ones we had to associate with. Boy, aren't we smart? And so I look at the homeliest one, I think, there, Glory be, it's the little sister of the captain of the football team and the baseball team, with the impossible name, Manfred Adolf von Schwarzfeger. Can you imagine? Von Schwarzfeger. Well, I knew enough German to know what that meant. Unfortunately, it wasn't like black sticky finger. Well, anyway, I looked at the girl, and I know who she is, her name. Her name is Elfrida. Elfrida Eva von Schwarzenegger. She's the adored little sister of Manfred. He watched over like a hawk. Uh, I bundled up my nerve. See how brave I was? I went over to this 15, 20 girls standing there and went up to Elfrida and said, would you like to dance with me, Elfrida? I thought she was going to climb on my head. She was so happy. A boy asked her to dance, and none of the other females had a dance yet. So Elfrida and I, she was not a good dancer. We really marched up and down the gymnasium to the band music, but to the big smile of Manfred. His little sister has a dance with a member of the football team. I'm double, triple qualified. Okay, end of that one. I had a good time. I asked Elfrida to dance about 3 or 4 times. I got kidded. You're going out with that beast? Is that your girlfriend? You think she's beautiful? You just dance with her because you want to know Manfred. Can you imagine? I was thinking I would do such a thing. Well, at any rate, the next day was a football game, and they called off the starting lineup. Benson starts at left tackle. You could hear the oh. The left tackle was a good friend of mine, and about 10 times better ball player than me. He was a Polak Swede. Isn't that a combination? Glinky, but his mother was Swede, and he was bigger than I was, and I was big. Well, I'll tell you, after that, everybody wants to know, how did you get sucking up to the coach? How did you get up? You know, I tell him truthfully, I don't know. But it got out. Coach told him, remember? He said, you're the clumsiest outfit I ever coached. The whole outfit. Learn to dance and maybe we might win a ball game. Well, the next dance, a couple of weeks later, every girl out over there got a dance. The coach would just stand there and he'd look at somebody like Ed Lincoln. Ed was a big handsome guy. He'd look at Binky and he'd point with his finger and point out some girl or let him know Ed was expecting to go over there and ask for the dance. And Ed would be afraid not to, so he'd ask him to dance. Okay, end of dance story so far, I think. So I go down to Key Warning, and my grandma said, did you bring the Bible I gave you? Well, I don't lie to my grandmother. I said, Grandma, I didn't buy a Bible. What? I said, I only had $5 and the dance lessons. What dance lessons? The dance lessons for 6 lessons for $5. Oh, snuff. A lot of Swedish coming out that I don't understand. Finally, she tells me, you wasted your money. What? Why? She said, I would have taught you how for nothing. I said, you would have taught me how for nothing? I thought, gee, but Grandma dance? I couldn't picture my grandmother dancing. As a young girl, sweet. But she said, I'll show you. What would you like to dance? So I'm gonna win. I said, I want a polka. So we're polka around her living room. And she told me, you had a good teacher. You're not bad. I'm better. Oh, Mama says, then she said, now we shot it. I had only really attempted to shot it for once. I didn't know how to shot it. Grandma shot us into the kitchen. I remember through the dining room, teaching me to shot it. But she said, see, you think I can dance? My grandfather sitting there watching all of this and hearing most of it. He said, your grandma's the best dancer I ever knew. What? Grandpa danced too? This family's crazy. So I go home, tell my mother, our grandma, they danced. Oh, my mother and dad said, we danced. Well, let's do it. We danced. She said, look, they had a trophy. They won it while I was gone. Best waltzers in Chicago. Dance contest. Strangely enough, I was very proud. Let everybody know when after that, when I danced at school, oh yeah, my parents are practically professionals. So now you know, I learned to dance. I learned to dance. Elaine and I, my grandma Gus was not a good dancer. She could dance acceptably, but she wasn't a good one. Not even in the same class with me. And then, long after she's gone, I met Elaine, and she was at the professional level. In fact, she was a model. She could dance. I could dance. We'd go dancing 3, 4 times a week, and formally, me in a tuxedo, she in a long gown, and we danced at El Jabel's Shrine, the largest ballroom in Denver. We danced at the Elks. I belonged to 3 German clubs, 3 of them. One was a German dance club, and they had a clubhouse and a bowling alley and German music, which I had learned how to very acceptably learn to dance at German club at school. So I could dance what they call a shoot potler and a hipper hop. Nobody else in the class could, but I could. I got an A in German. Part of it was German culture. Clappity clap, flippity flop, clappity clap, the shoe flop. Uh, that was the dancing did me so good. And Elaine and I, we danced our way around the world. I danced in many countries. Now there was something else. Oh, roller skating. Well, you don't see much now, but there were at least 5, 6 very large roller rinks in Chicago. 2 of them were National Guard armories where they did truck maneuvers, and they had wooden floors. Well, I had roller skates. I learned this roller skate on the smooth streets of our area. Almost no cars. You could skate on clean, coverless asphalt and never fall. And of course, sidewalks. So, roller skating and steel skates, we all have. And here they got a roller skating club in my high school. And they gave out letters, not the big letters like football, baseball, but those were 10 or 12 inches. These were about 6 inches. They put them on your arm. Well, I figured I could roller skate, so I cost a quarter of money. And a streetcar for 14 cents more. And a drink for some kind of dime. If I wasn't careful, I could spend $1. And I roller skate. Now, we had a rather beautiful girl. She was 19 and I was 13. And she was a roller skater. But she lived in the neighborhood and went to the same church, right across the street with us, so I knew her on a first name basis. A 19-year-old girl seldom has a 13-year-old boyfriend. But I would go roller skating at least twice a week. At least that. And Dorothea, that was her name, Dorothea Larson, Swede, by the way. And Dorothea would be there, and she was a good. She belonged to the Chicago Rollers, a very exclusive roller skating. I clothes to match, and I knew a guy or two that belonged to it, so it wasn't a sissy. Dorothea taught me to do the two-step, let's see, the 14-step, the waltz, foxtrot, skate backwards just about as fast as those people can skate forward. And these rinks, she taught me because she was maybe a year or so older than the average skater, who's 16 to 18. She's 19. Never knew what happened to her. But I remember her. Everybody agreed. A beautiful girl. And she taught me to skate these dances. And then one day, a guy that I barely knew by first name from the roller rink said, "Would you be interested in joining Chicago Rollers?" Would I be interested in joining Chicago Rollers? I'll give you my right arm, and if I can pass, I'll give you my left arm too. Wow, I got it made. I'm 14 years old, and I am invited to join the Chicago Rollers. And Dorothea never asked me if she was a member. And all the good skaters. Well, I got very good. If you dance with good people or skate with good people, you learn. And I learned. I learned about roller skating. I learned about roller racing. I learned about roller hockey. And I got to be play on the Chicago Roller, not their first, but the Chicago Roller hockey team. Traveled all over lower Illinois. That was exciting. I'm playing with the big guys. Not long, but enough. So I roller danced, and there weren't that many guys to roller dance, and I could do it. 14 steps. I mean, at competition level. At any rate, Thanksgiving came along, and it was the night that they had races and contests and prizes. Prizes like 10 admission tickets to Arcadia, that was the name of the roller rink, a former armory, 5 stories high of open space, balconies all the way up, and a huge roller rink. I saw it. It's almost big enough to run midget or races on. All enclosed. And of course, knowing that I am perfect, all these other things. Well, maybe not quite, but I'm better than anybody else follows that I knew who didn't go skating twice a week. Dorothea, incidentally, she paid her own way yet. I'm not going to spend 25 cents on a girl on a date. crazy. I'm not crazy. I keep my core. At any rate, I entered the skating contest. But Dorothea is skating with some of the professionals that night. And she and where she's skating are winning prizes. And I'm standing on the sideline. I can't see anybody who skate with me. I'm too new in the club to know anybody. I'm not very happy until they announced the races. Well, Big Eddie Thompson had told me. Guess what? They have an elimination contest that starts out with over 100 guys. I'm the winner. I win 5 or 6 races in a row to become the champion. Arcadia Racer of the Year. They didn't call it that. And I got free entries. And then they gave me the grand prize for racing, which I well deserved, you understand. Uh, and when I got the prize, it was a turkey. I remember I told it was Thanksgiving. And I get a turkey. My family is going to be very happy. Except the turkey is alive. And I got half an hour, 45 minutes to go home on the owl car. Midnight, so I get in the neighborhood. I got the turkey on a string, about 10 feet long. I do a leg, and I get it aboard the streetcar. The conductor never said anything. That owl car mostly catered to skaters. He figured there were a bunch of nutty kids that he, I don't know. But the turkey got away inside the streetcar and flies up and down, back and forth inside the streetcar. Everybody is yelling, standing up, trying to catch the turkey. No luck. That turkey flies higher than we can jump. He can't stand on the street. The conductor's yelling, stops the streetcar. Finally, somebody catches the turkey. I tie both legs on the turkey. And we go from the streetcar. I got to take a bus. The bus ride almost had a hemorrhage. He told me I couldn't get on the bus. After defeating the streetcar and winning the turkey and winning the races. Now remember, no alcohol. This bus driver is not going to tell me all. Besides, I'm bigger than he is. I'm 6'2" and about 185 pounds. And I'm a DW, which is a neighborhood club, not a fight club. We just like to fight over games. So I told him, you'll let me on, or I'll let the turkey use the bus. Then he said, I won't move. And I said, and then we'll beat the living daylight. I don't know if it's scared him or me, but you get a big 14. He does. I don't look 14. I'm 6'2". I'm little like I was getting old, and I'm a full football weight tackle, and I know how to fight. So I do get the bus ride. I never see a driver. I take it home. My mother's waiting out for me. 1 o'clock in the morning. She always waited up for me. And I bring the turkey in. Now remember, my mom grew up in a truck. My grandfather had a million chickens. And my uncle said, oh, chickens. She's not afraid of a turkey. So I bring it in. She said, don't bring it in the house. Oh, I can't leave it outside. Somebody would steal it. She said, we lived on a second. She said, outside in the hallway. Okay. So I tied the turkey up on the staircase and it settled up. We all went to bed. All of us except my poor dad. He's out to a meeting that night with a company. I wonder if those meetings are like, he's the president of the company was there. Anyway, my father comes home in a taxi. Abbott must have paid in a taxi. Comes to the house. Now, I don't see this, I'm in bed. But goes up the stairs and I hear a crash. Big noise outside of the door. I'm up, but nothing flat. It's a burglar. I got my BB gun. Not that I'm going to need it. But I just catch the burglar and beat him up with the gun. Nice kid, huh? And I'm looking forward. It ain't that, it's my dad. He's down 5 steps. And he says, is that you, Blanche? My mother said, what do you want? Let me in. No, drunken bum. My brother was up. Let poor daddy in. No. Well, I'm Mama's fault. So we go in the house. My mother locks the door, and Dad is sitting at the bottom of the stairs. So he comes up the stairs again. I can hear this clump, clod, Flash, help me, up. He gets to the top of the stairs, and I decided I'm going to help my dad. It's a crash. Down he goes again. Why he didn't kill himself. But he's downstairs sitting on the floor. On the landing, there's a landing man yelling, Blanche, Blanche, and I was saying, help me up, get me in. Sit there, you bum. Huh, my father's not a bum. So my mother said, leave that door alone. I said, Dad needs help. And I opened the door, I went down, and I gave my father a hand on the staircase. When he got to the top of the stairs, my mother wasn't yelling bum at him. She was checking out to see if he was hurt. Well, when I got almost to get him, he's still yelling, Blanche, Blanche, Blanche. And my mother did say, what? Oh. He says, there's a devil on the stairs. My mother said, he's what? There's a devil on the stairs. It's attacking me. My mother said, boy, is he drunk. I didn't think so by this time. He's almost overlooked the hill. He's an hour from the party. Driving home, getting home with a cab. Poor Dad. I think he slept on the wrong side of the bed for a week. Uh, After she stopped laughing, he wasn't hurt, and he was very contrite, and she was very stern. My mother was very anti-alcohol. My dad says, there's no sleep in you. You must be an orphan. Sitting there, Blanche, there's a devil in this place. It's attacking me. My mother got hysterical. That broke the whole thing up. The next day, I said, Dad, did you really see a devil? What are you talking about? You said there was a devil on the stairs. I didn't see it. I never saw him that way again. I don't think my mother forgot it. We go up the stairs. They'd be going to a party. My mom couldn't risk the cat. Get up on the stairs now. You don't have Myron to help you. There may be a devil, and I don't fight devils. My dad go, wow. He wasn't allowed to forget women. But my poor dad, I'll never forget it. The glance, there's a devil on the stairs attacking me. Boy, was he a silverite for a long time. He wouldn't even touch the water if he felt it hard. My brother and I would have liked to have teased him. My brother was daddy's boy. Well, you know, he was born on the 27th of January, 1927. My dad's birthday was the 27th of January. He was 27 years old from the day my brother was born. He was daddy's boy. But he used to tell me, my brother, I wish you were daddy's boy and I was mama's boy. I'm the first one. Why? I get it twice as hard as you do. My dad bent over backwards. No favoritism. And my mother bent over backwards. I got it twice as hard from her as my brother got. My brother used to get away with murder. My mother. You give any static to my dad, you gotta spank him. He said, I wish you were mom. I was mama. You were dead. But he followed all his life. If he was anywhere around my dad, he was happy. He followed my dad around like a puppy dog, all the way to his death. he moved Dad out to California. He was around all the time. Yeah. He had thought that anybody would give my dad a bad time. He would have waited till I came out. He didn't believe in going one on one. If he went after you, he wanted you to get the hell beat out of it. That means call upon the gang. Get everybody you can to kick the crap out of you. There were people who thought that was wrong. Not the DWs. If you're going to beat a guy up, beat him up good. Don't go one on one. This isn't democracy. Rules. We didn't have rules. But nobody, my dad was a big man. Nobody ever fooled her. Not over once. Uh, that was fun. Now you know about roller skating. I love to roller skate. I gave my skates away to a kid in California, the son of a friend of mine, and they just didn't have the income to buy him skates extra, you know. A good pair of skates, a cheap pair of Sears at skates from Sears you can get for $15, $20. Shoe skates, of course. Good skates cost 50, 60. They were made by Chicago Roller Company. Well, I had good skates. And the skate boxes, everybody kept a skate box. I had stickers, all kinds of places. I was working for the Power, and I'd go say to Pokey Dokey, Wisconsin on the top. And so a roller rink, I'd go in, knock on the door, and ask for a sticker. They were glad to give me, and I'd put it on my skate box. So there wasn't any room. There was just about just a small suitcase. But I gave that kid the skate box. I did regret it and did. But I was a little old. And he was at a good age. I don't even remember his name. When I was living in Westwood. Roller skating for a while was about my life. If I got off from work, I had it. And I don't. I gave a girl a leaf to. I gave her my Chicago North sweater. In my mind, I never got the sweater back. Oh, the girl. But, I used to wear a sweater every day to school, far away. And on, let's say on Monday, I'd wear a football sweater with a big F for foreman, letters. Tuesday, I'd wear a Chicago roller sweater, same colors. That was good. But the letters were sewn on, so Wednesday, and then I would wear a basketball sweater when I had basketball. That one. Thursday, a roller skating sweater. Friday, well, no choice. I was ROTC. Together with a uniform. But You could take that off, except the jacket, depending on if you didn't have call room duty, then you had to wear the uniform. But if you're just in class, they did not insist that you wear that heavy army jacket. But I wore then one of the leather rifle team, and I had a rifle team. Yeah, that was a little and put it on my sleeve. I would have liked to try to get another sport. But they had a roller team. I forgot to tell you. High school had a roller skating team, a bowling team. I tried out for both. I was number 15 on the bowling team. 3 teams of bowlers. I think I got to roll in one match. That was all. But with 167 average, wow, just that number just came to my mind. Well, we had high school bowlers had a 190 average. 167. But I got on the team, which is and on the rifle team, I made first team on that one. I could shoot. Well, there was another sport. Roller, roller skating, rifle team. I had a collection of those, which I was interested in. That made me a big man in the big city. There were plenty of others. I was not the star of the football. My senior year, I was first. That time to make it. I was getting bigger, and there were bigger and better guys than me. But my senior year, I was the varsity. I guess I weighed close to 200. That was fun. In basketball, I was the last man to make it. I didn't realize how bad our basketball team was until I went to college. Athletic scholarship. I went out for basketball, like I had to. I had to go out for the sports, track, basketball, football. And the coach watched me play, and he said, "You let her?" Yeah. He said, "These guys are better than you are." These are all country kids. They were a lot better. They had plays. I didn't understand basketball then, and I don't understand it now. No plays. I thought I did. But for basketball, when I got to football, I went out coaching out for football, and I think my coach smacked his lips with happiness. I was varsity my first game. I was a big kid, you know. and it was small college. There weren't many 200-pounders, 6 foot tall, around. The coach was very happy with me. I was happy with him. And I ran track. That's what it's called. I ran the 2 mile. I didn't even finish. I got sick to my stomach. I ran 100 yards. I got points with that. We had a dual meet of a small college. We had 2 guys who could run, and that's what they had, two guys. And there's 3 points. Three first, 2 points second, a single point for being third. Well, we might win one, and they'd win one. And if there's nobody there, they didn't award a point. So my coach always put me in. If the other guys didn't have a third man, I got a point, right? So I made my money at the track. I threw the discus about 50 yards shorter than the guys who could throw it. And the javelin, I did better at that, but I never won in points. I won points at the dash. I went to what they call the North Central Relays. Our regular 100-yard runner got sick, so I went along. And I was supposed to run a 100-yard dash. I'm pretty fast, so I wouldn't even gotten that far. But I ran, except for one thing. Huh, nobody else ran. They ran the race, and I trotted down alone down the finish line and won. I never know what happened. We didn't have anybody in the race, and they didn't either. And they ran the race. I was there, and I was happy. Anything they did in track, I even tried throwing as a heavyweight, as big as I was. I found out this: no matter how hard I practiced, there'd be some guy that didn't even bother to practice. That's humbling. Uh, I remember that one day we only uh, had a race, and I remember the team Augustana, and they only came up with one guy with a 2 mile race, and the coach said, "Benson, you run the 2 mile." I told him I got 6 stars. I had as much chance as the average mouse had to age at that time, and I knew it. And I bet the coach did too. But I might pick up a point. But one of my roommates had never run track. He was a pre-theological student. He had a low opinion of athletes in general. He was a student, going to be a minister. And he was. Uh, he ran in street shoes and won. He ran 2 miles without trouble. The first one he'd ever run. He'd been a spectator. He felt it just he ran in street shoes and won 2 miles. I couldn't have run. He was a big guy. He became a fighter pilot. Led a freshman behind the line. He said he was flying along, and all of a sudden there was a wing deciding to come off on the glider. I said, "You in a glider?" "Yeah." "Why?" He said, "If I would take over a glider squadron, they'd make me a first lieutenant. So I'd be second lieutenant for the rest of my life." He said, so I took it, and they made me a first lieutenant. And he said I flew behind his glider over the Rhine, a couple of dozen of them. And he says, we're getting lots of crap. He said, I had missed the Normandy landing, which pleased him no end. He didn't go in Normandy, but he went on across the Rhine. And he said you could walk on the aircraft. And the wings started going like that. He said, this ain't going to fly back home. And it ain't going to even land. I'm going down. He said, I said, what you do? I looked for a soft spot and a gas station. But no gas station and nothing looked soft. So I went down. He had 12 infantrymen in the glider. I said, what happened? He said, I was out for maybe a minute after we landed. He says, I call it a landing. Anything you could walk away from was a landing. I call it a landing. They're just broken pieces of the glider around me. Infantryman? He said, I was awake long enough after the crash it ended. He said, those infantrymen hit. They're gone before I could say boo. He said, I didn't even see them go. They're out of that glider and gone. I says, where'd they go? I don't know. Never saw any of them again. He said, we hit. And these guys, they were out of the glider. So I said, what'd you do? He says, I just tried to stand up, find out where I was. We landed in a big hole. A hole, a big one. And he said, that was lucky. Wow. When I stood up, people started shooting at me. Because they couldn't very easily get at me. I said, what would you do? He said, I had a carbine and about 500 rounds of ammunition. They looked at infantry and looked behind. I'd take it out and go bang, 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 bang. But I didn't stand up again. Every time I started to stand up, a hail of bullets came, and I'd be down. 2 days later, he said, somebody yelled at me, anybody alive? No. Me, the pilot. I said, what were you? He says, scared. Yeah, I thought I was going to die there. And he said, if they had, the Germans stayed right to the bitter end around them, and they were shooting when the American infantry pulled them out. But he said, was I glad to see an American? And he said, look, a pilot. What the hell are you doing here? Yeah. He said, they were all eager beavers. What do you mean? He said, the general opinion, pick up that pansy pilot and get him to the rear and let's go kill Krauts. He said, they're bloodthirsty. They talk. I don't know what he was. I don't even know. He was somewhere in Germany. And well, they got me back and I ran home to the States. Of course, he's dead.